On today's episode, we go over the possibility of an extension for Nico Hoerner, getting into some prospect updates that are sure to impress, and best and worst of the week. That's all on a Friday episode. Here we go.
Are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Cubs alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Shout out to everybody tuning in to this Friday episode, and a pleasant Friday to you if that is when you're listening. And we are a pleasure to be your first listen every day on the Northsiders, the boys in blue, the blue and red, the Cubbies, the Cubs, whatever you want to call them. The Cubs have a stud shortstop that they have discovered and began to develop. And Nico Hoerner has really broke out this year, Sam. I'm excited to talk about him with you today. And it's strange to be recording with you full sunlight. I mean, the sun's not even close to being down. It's afternoon here in the Chicagoland area, and let's get this thing going.
Good to see you. Nico Hoerner extension. So Cub fans always like to say, extend this, extend this, extend that. Let's talk numbers, right? Like it's easy to say, but we'll talk about his performance first. But
let's do that first.
Why don't you? No, you want to talk performance first?
I think we should just lay down the foundation of what player he is.
Okay, because it's easy to say it, but you have to back up. You have to give me a number, right? So right. Nico Hoerner right now. Let's talk about his performance.
Okay, I got it.
He has played one massively full season in the big leagues. He came up in 2019 at the end of the year to spark that dead team, and he played well in spurts. He had a miserable 2020 short campaign in the 60-game season. In 2021, he showed flashes of what he could be this year, but he was in and out of the lineup due to injury. This year has been his first full season. He's only had one stint on the injured list. I believe his wins above replacement right now, according to Bleacher Reference. Baseball Reference is about 4.2, so he's on pace to be 5 wins above replacement, which is an absolutely studly season. But when you're talking extension, that really doesn't matter what he's done this year. You're trying to project out what he is going to do. So why don't you give me some more information? Then, if you would like, I'd like you to throw me a number and a deal, and I'll tell you what I think of it.
Well, first of all, Hoerner has become a building block in my mind.
Agree.
And he's been so fun to watch. He's been stellar all year.
Agree.
I mean, you take his start in April. I mean, it was really from Jump Street. And then at this point in the dog days of summer, as we turn the calendar to September today, as we record, you talk about the dog days, and you see spurts where sometimes even I get on you a little bit for maybe even overreacting, or we see Hoerner's swing and miss increase, but for the most part, he has been consistent. So
you get on me a lot.
No,
you get on me a lot.
Here's where he ranks among shortstops. Okay,
sure.
He's 4th in batting average. He's 7th in on-base percentage. He's 5th in stolen bases. And then here is one of the biggest kickers of this whole 2022 season. And that
defense.
Oh my gosh. He is literally in first place among shortstops in defensive runs saved. First place.
Unbelievable.
You have the Turners, the Swansons, the Bogarts,
the Larkins, the Ozzie Smiths. Right.
You see those guys
Jeter
have their hold on the leaderboard
Banks.
Offensively, even though Hoerner is not far off. But defensively, it's Hoerner, and then there's everybody else, and that's wildly impressive.
Right. I agree with everything you said. He's had
do you want to get into contract then?
He's had a phenomenal season. The only question when we're about to discuss his contract, and I'd love for our audience to comment below with what you think would make sense for both parties, is it's been 1 year and he has an injury history. So why don't you tell me what you'd like to see? Because I have a fairly good gauge on the market. So So
Yeah,
tell me what you'd
that's
like
good.
to see, and how many years of eligibility does he have left? In terms of arbitration, that's important when discussing a contract.
So he's eligible for arbitration for the first time this offseason. He hasn't got there yet. So this December will be the first time.
Yeah,
He'll be a free agent after the 2025 season.
right. So
Um,
yeah, right.
and that's at low cost typically, So here's what I have. I think the Cubs should pursue a 5-year deal with an average annual value that is reasonable for the player, for the market, for the position, and these two big realities. One is that he's still under team control. Okay, so you're only going to get so much money in the ARB years, and two, he likely won't get a sizable payday like a Chris Bryant got in arbitration. Plus, he does have a little bit of that injury history, and quite honestly, just doesn't have a lot on the baseball card yet.
Mhm.
So, seeing as he is a building block, and that he is under control through 25 anyway, I think adding 2 years with a 5-year extension makes sense. So then he would be
So
signed through 27.
So when you say 5-year deal, you're saying
Yeah.
that the first 3 deals replace the arbitration years,
Yeah.
and then an additional 2 years.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it, because you override the ARB years
Right.
probably for the sake of a little bit more payday,
Okay.
but then 2 years of your free agency go away.
And explain to me if you ballpark a number, what are you thinking? Because I bet you, I feel like you're going to be low.
Well, I told you before we pressed record, I said, and I like even numbers. So
Right.
if it's a 5-year deal, I'm going to say 50 million.
He won't
50,
accept it.
50 M's.
He's not accepting that, and I'll tell you why. Because he's got 3 years left of arbitration, which is basically like 3 prove-it years. So if he so sometimes you have to get a little lucky, right? Like Tim Anderson signed a 6-year, $25 million deal with the White Sox.
That's crazy.
But Tim Anderson signed that deal really before he broke out, right? I'm
Right,
sure he regrets signing that deal right now.
Sure.
I think if for the Cubs, absolutely, like that would be a home run extension.
Yeah.
And you made some great points with Hoerner. He does have some injury history. Will that be on the market? But when you look at the fact that you just looked at his rankings, he obviously believes that he's going to bet on himself.
True.
The guys that he's in place with are going to be getting paid $25-30 million a year. So I think if you're going to do an extension like that for Hoerner, I think you have to increase the years. So I think 5 years would be a bit too small. I think it'd have to be in the 8-year range.
Wow.
And then that's where you could probably get away with that lower AAV. With that means what he makes per year.
Mhm.
So I would say an extension would probably look more like an 8-year, $90 million extension. Now, I think Nico Hoerner thinks long and hard about accepting that for all the reasons you mentioned. Like, it takes a hard man to pass up on $90 guaranteed million. For the Cubs,
Right.
It gives you 8 years of control. But there are doubts about both sides, right? Will Nico Hoerner be healthy throughout those 8 years? Nico Hoerner could say, well, you know what? What if I continue playing like this? I can make way more on the open market. I don't know. But I think that deal, to me, makes more sense for both parties. I think 5 years, 50. I think if the Cubs thought they could get it for that, I think they do it yesterday.
Right.
But I don't know. That's just what I think. I think a deal looks more like an 8-year, 10, 11, 12-ish per million. That's where the Cubs could say, hey, that's fair for you because you've only been doing this for 1 year.
Mhm.
And then Nico Hoerner could say, all right, they're right. And then the Cubs get a player that could be worth a lot more. And even if it's a total bust, which I just don't see it happening because he's such a nice player, does so many things, it's not a Jason Hayward thing where you're paying $22-23 million a year. So that's what I think. But
Mhm.
in terms of this debate, I'd love to explore extending him.
Yeah, I like the breakdown, especially from the financial perspective. I think we definitely needed that. And then, of course,
I don't know.
Well, then the 80-90 million is not, it's impressionable, but it doesn't prevent the Cubs from doing anything.
No, it's the same deal you offered essentially with a little bit more. I'm just giving them more years.
Right.
That's all.
And of course, the twist here, which deep down, I don't really think is that big of a twist. Let's just see how it plays out. But is he gonna play short? And so
it all depends on who they get, and if that player is willing. Because the three guys right now that are the rumored to go to the Cubs, in order, I would say, of rumor, it's Bogaerts and Correa are right here, and then drop down Turner doesn't seem like he's a really likely option. But those are the big three, and then Swanson. So those four, the only guy I could really see making sense for Hoerner to move somewhere for would probably be Correa. I mean, he's better defensively than Bogaerts. He's better defensively than Turner. And him and Swanson are really similar, and I don't think the Cubs are going to get Swanson anyway. So that's just a moot point. Correa's been doing it for a really long time, and he's had some unbelievable defensive years, plus the playoffs. That I could see. Okay, and then where do you play Hoerner? Because he's not a third baseman; he's a second baseman. Then what do you do with Madrigal? But these are all good problems to have. I mean,
I thought today I was starting to visualize him playing third. I think he could maybe do it.
I think he could do it. I just don't think it's an ideal way to use his skill set. I think second base is, if you're going to move him, he's a Gold Glove second baseman in his sleep. Third baseman, the arm you have to have there to play third. I know his shortstop arm has been better than anticipated, but you watch Matt Chapman and Arenado and those guys throw. I mean, it's actually like art.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to put it. So, yeah, let's keep tabs on this. Just like he has with other topics. Just in the last week, 7 to 10 days, Jed Hoyer, has spoken really highly about Hoerner and has really emphasized his offensive profile and improvement. So I think this is something that they'll definitely bring to the table this offseason. If you had to predict, would you say that something like that gets done between now and opening day 23?
I make a lot of predictions on here. Some are right, some are wrong. This one, I truly don't know. I really don't.
You don't have as good of a read, right?
I don't have as good of a read. I think he's a Cub for a while, and that's all I'll say. I really don't.
Okay. All right. Coming up next, we are going to just update everybody on the September call-up situation.
I can't predict the Illini are going to go in Indiana tomorrow and upset them, which is going to be tonight. Mark me down, folks. Keep a prediction tracker. Illinois is going to upset those Hoosiers.
I have a predicted score, 22-21.
Well, what are they playing? Backyard football? How are they getting to 22 points?
That's going to be a walk-off 2-point conversion.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's great.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, boy, do we need help, huh?
All right, here we go. All right. Coming up next, September call-ups and a prospect update, okay? And now we have a message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. As we have a couple times this week. Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? What's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit. It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different, drive high. Get a DUI. That's a message from the NHTSA. We're back here on Locked On Cubs. First listen every day here on a Friday episode. In the new system of the MLB, September call-ups, in my opinion, do not have as much of a buzz anymore because you're just increasing the roster by 2 players. So with the reinstatements of Steele and Sampson, Jeremiah Estrada got sent down for 20 seconds. Then he got recalled. So Estrada stays, and then David Bodie was recalled.
Great prediction by you off the air.
Yes. Let's get the pom-poms out for that.
Excited to watch David Bodie hit and see what he could do this year. Just like I'm excited to go to the library and buy a checkbook, or go to the dentist, or go grab a physical at the doc. That type of excitement.
Well, is there any chance that he sticks on the 40 man? Because I think the possibility of eating that deal is a real possibility.
Enough already.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
No, right. I didn't mean that to you. I meant that to both.
No, I got you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just it's enough already. Learn how to hit a pitch. Learn how to hit a pitch above the belt.
Right.
I mean, Ian Happ made that adjustment.
Yeah, did it really well.
I'm tired of these guys, Wisdom and Bodie, where if you execute a pitch literally above their belt, they swing under it every time.
It's not good as a baseball player, huh?
No, and I'm not going to do that in tonight's softball game.
All right. So since August 20th, Nick Cozy's birthday, these 4 top prospects are just crushing it. Yeah. And it's very odd that it's all since this date, but
that's how it works in the game. They pick a random date to make the stat look good.
Maybe there's something in the air. Well, this is my research, though.
Oh, got it.
So PCA is hitting 487 since August 20th. Is that good?
That'll play.
Okay. Kevin Alcantara, 375. James Triantos, 395. And Owen Casey, 353.
And Rafael Ortega. No.
He's not a prospect.
That one doesn't belong. It's like the ACT.
It's
like the ACT, which one doesn't belong.
Right.
That's great stuff. Those guys are. No, I'm telling you. That's why when we made the Ohtani video, we got the feedback we got and the interaction we got both ways was so telling. Because you'd think, oh my God, let's get Shohei Ohtani, who had a 3-run home run off Garrett Cole last night, or if you're listening to this 2 nights ago.
Right. Wednesday night.
But as you just drink a random, what is that, iced coffee?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, you really drink a lot of caffeine.
I need caffeine, man.
Yeah, it's concerning. It's not a given, because they've developed. They have so many guys. I was reading Bleacher Nation today. There was another guy. There's just an endless amount of talent in the minor
players
leagues.
You've never heard of. I just heard about today.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And then, you want them, you want PCA or Davis to become one of the 5 best prospects in baseball. So you have that golden goose. But man, I mean, you can
right.
You can just field a team. I mean, they're loaded with these guys and pitchers. Horton, I forgot about. And then the lefty they got in the 2nd round of the draft.
That's going to be Jackson Ferris.
Yeah, it's just an endless amount of guys. The future's bright on the north side of Chicago.
And I got a couple other updates for you.
Yeah, tell me about him.
So I do want to play both sides briefly. So I unfortunately, Sam, Alexander Canario is 1 for 19 at AAA. You know what bothers me about that? I did want to let you know that. No, you know what bothers me about that? What? You only hear when these guys are doing well, so you actually have to search to see if they're struggling. Yes. And so I hadn't heard much on Canario, so I figured let me just make a quick counter case. He struggled in AA in the beginning too. A lot of these guys do. Sometimes you got to give them about 50 ABs, see how they adjust, and then see if they could explode. Yeah, I 100% agree. We see that in the major leagues for crying out loud. Right. Ben Brown, since joining the Cubs org over at AA Tennessee. Smokies. What? Sorry. Smokies. Yeah. 17 innings. 21 hits, 10 runs, 8 walks, 23 Ks. That's not good. ERA in the low 5s. Yeah, not good. Striking out a lot of guys, but not good. Would like to see some improvement from his last 3 or 4 starts. Yeah, Luis Devers, on the other hand, have you heard about Luis Devers, Sam? Of course, I've heard of him, but go into detail. Inform me, Mr. Crosby. Single A and high A this year, 1.92 ERA and 110 strikeouts and 108 innings. Just at high A South Bend, he's allowed 4 earned runs in 41 innings. It's video game stuff. And we'll be and Friday night with a 2-run lead, the 5th inning, you'll see Sean Newcomb. And he's Rule 5 eligible this winter, and he's got to be a 40-man guy, I would think. Yes. That's Luis Devers. And then I just want to give you, I don't think we've just said straight up his numbers this year, okay? Matt Mervis across 3 levels. Here's his slash line, 310, 374, 971. 27 home runs, 36 doubles, 100 runs batted in. Player of the year. 971 being his OPS, right? Yes. Yeah. You will not be seeing him in a stadium near you in the pros, in the bigs, but maybe in April.
Maybe if you make a nice little trip in March out to Mesa.
Yes. So all impressive stuff, and we're going to keep tabs on it as we go through. Okay. So best and worst of the week is coming up next to close out the week, and we're all excited about that. And we'll do that on the other side. All right, we're back here on Locked On Cubs. First listen every day. Best and worst this week, Sam. Do you want to lead us off?
I'd like you to lead off.
Okay, I will be the Nick Madrigal of this segment and get a base hit. Okay, so my best of the week is Jeremiah Estrada's fastball.
Come on.
Just his fastball, though.
Oh, I know. I was going to say that.
It ranks as one of the best fastballs in the sport, according to Fangraphs. He's only thrown 10 pitches.
And worst?
Very, very exciting stuff.
And worst?
My worst is just the simple fact that the Cubs played the Blue Jays this week. It was an odd vibe from the start. There was some funny business going on in the stands at one point I saw. They wore alternate uniforms 2 or 3 times. One of them was red.
This is
and
so
it was just an odd trip.
So my worst of the week was the Blue Jays.
Was it really?
Yeah, and I can't. I like actually thought about that, so I'm not going to replace it.
We had the same ones.
No, I did not enjoy that trip. I did not enjoy their attitudes.
It was hot, man.
I did not enjoy the fact that I felt like they were being crowned for something they haven't achieved. And if the Cubs were taking those games seriously, we would have swept them.
Right.
My best of the week. There wasn't much. Wasn't a great week. The Estrada thing. I mean, Ian Happ's really hit the ball well.
Very well.
I'll say Suzuki. I like the week that he's had. I really feel like he's so close. Like if you were to tell me right now that
hitting a home run.
No, I just feel like he's close to just becoming a stud.
Right.
Like if you were to tell me that Seiya Suzuki next year hits 290 with a 360 on base and slugs 540 and is one of the top hitters in baseball and starts the All-Star game, I wouldn't be surprised. The problem is if you told me that he has this exact year next year, I wouldn't be surprised either. It's so up in the air with him. I just feel like this guy can really hit. And I expressed it yesterday on the show with the umpiring, so I'm not going to go there again, but that needs to be addressed. But I just think this guy can hit.
So you'd like to see him break out?
Yeah, I think he's really close, man. I just like a little. I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but just like I just think when he goes through the year, a second time through the bigs, a second season, and recognizes, all right, you know what, I got to ambush more first pitches, I got to pull more balls in the air. You know what? I can't rely sometimes if they're second and third, one out, and it's a borderline 3-2. I'm just going to hit a ground ball to second instead of leaving it in the ump's hands. There's just a couple of tweaks where I just feel because right now I think this is the worst version of him, and he's still hitting in what is he hitting 250 something, whatever. And this is the absolute worst version of him. So I just think there's room. I mean, remember Ohtani his first year? I think there's a special year at the friendly confines for Seiya Suzuki next year if he could get healthy and just stay healthy and just tweak a couple of things. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and I think he's going to really fit really well hitting third behind Ohtani. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. So Cubs Cardinals this weekend, Sam.
Give me a quick pitching matchup at Busch Stadium. Order me the most exciting part of this weekend is going to be waking up in the morning before the game and saying, you know what, I want a little cream of wheat delivered to my room with a side of, maybe some blueberries inside of it. And then at nighttime, I might listen to a book. Because St. Louis is a boring town. And so is Milwaukee. So is the chilly city of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Unless you work in a steel mill, you could go to sleep.
It's going to be Sampson and Montgomery on Friday.
Well, we haven't scored a run against Jordan Montgomery since Warren G. and I already used Harding. No, we actually haven't scored a run against him in 2 starts this year. So maybe we can get one would be great.
That's going to be a 7:15 first pitch, 6:15 on Saturday.
Is that a Fox ball game?
No.
No. Okay.
It's going to be Smiley and Wainwright.
I'm tired. And let me guess, Sunday we face Michaelis.
Stroman and Michaelis, 1:15 Sunday.
So we just faced their 3 best pitchers.
Yeah.
Well, how come we don't get to face that out of control Dakota Hudson?
Cubs miss him.
That guy stinks. We don't want to face Quintana. He's shoved against us 3 times this year.
Right.
All right. I'm not going to lie that those pitching matchups are not good.
Not favorable.
I feel like what do we face? Wainwright 4 times this year already?
Yeah, he's 77 years old.
And don't worry. Hey, listen. If you're watching the Cubs game at home this weekend, everybody, and you're looking for a bathroom break, you're looking for a time to go to the kitchen, go do that when Yadier Molina's at the plate.
Right.
Because he's the worst hitter in the big leagues.
Jeez. All right, fun Friday show. We announced the giveaway last night, Sam.
Yeah.
If you want to remind the listeners about that, quick.
Yeah, so I changed it. A couple people got on me. It's going to be two YouTube subscribers, 2 Twitter followers. So if you're subscribed on YouTube, great. If you're subscribed on Twitter, great. Both would give you a better chance. But it's going to be 2 each, so we reward whatever. But we have a lot of work to do. We're about 900 subscribers away, and we got about a month and a week to get it done. Tell your friends, tell whatever. I'm gonna be purchasing 4 Cubs jerseys for 2,000 subscribers. We've already had to make a donation to the Rizzo thing because I said that Scott Efros would never get traded. By the end of this show, I might be broke, but let me at least be broke with 2,000 subs. Right.
I mean, we're doing a show for the people.
Yeah, it's for the people. This is for you guys and for me. It's my therapy during the day.
Right.
But yeah, so tell your friends, hey, subscribe. You may
put it on at the pool this weekend.
You may get a Franmil Reyes jersey. And by the way, they don't come in anything less than XL.
Nice. I was wondering when I was going to hear the voice again, so it's good. So yes, be sure to subscribe to Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button on all your favorite Locked On Cubs content. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. And remember, you can drop us a text, 312-834-4634. Right before we went on the air today, I did see a couple texts about pumpkin spice drinks. So I'll have to take a look at that for next week's shows. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. What was the fake laugh for?
No, it wasn't fake. It was real.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Now make your second listen the Ultimate Pro Football Preview Show, an 8-episode extravaganza to get you ready for the 2022 NFL season. The local team experts of the Locked On Podcast Network will all be there, plus betting coverage from Lee Sterling of Locked On Bets, all combining into one Ultimate NFL Preview. Search for Ultimate Pro Football Preview 2022 on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.